Thank you for joining us on another episode of Ask the Experts, where we take people from the community and beg them to come in and talk about what they do special and different from everybody else. Today I've got a group of ladies who are super special. They're awesome. They've been on my show before. It's probably one of the most talked about shows I've ever had. So 2 years ago, the ladies of roller derby have come here to talk about what they do on the weekends and how they like to hurt each other, maybe. So with me today is the ladies from the Aloha City Roller Derby. So thanks for coming in, and we got a special entrance from one of our ladies, and you can see how they actually use some of their techniques. So Samara, you want to show me what, there she is. That's Samara. She's going to be talking with us today, and she's got the gear on. And so we're pretty excited to talk about roller derby. If you've never seen the sport before, probably got to go out and experience it because it's quite amazing. So you guys have been doing this for a while. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves first, probably?
My name is Bella DeBrawl. I've been skating for about 5 years with roller derby, and before that, just my entire life. Skating has always been a passion of mine.
Your skating name?
Bella DeBrawl.
Bella DeBrawl. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. My first name, real name is Kara. I go by Bustin' Baller, though. I just started in May, so I'm brand new. But everybody else.
That's not new. You've got 5 months of banging away.
True. It's true.
And I'm Adrienne, and my derby name is Lally Gagher. I've been skating a little over 5 years, and have had a lot of fun doing it, and have enjoyed my time on my wheels.
And I'm Samara. Derby name is Blazing Kryptonite. Been skating about 3 years now. December will make 3 years for me.
So who plays in this league? I mean, is it women only, women and men? Is it co-ed? Is there a co-ed? Got some questions here just for the people if they've never seen roller derby.
Yes. Aloha City Rollers is actually trying to transition into a bit of a co-ed league because here in Hawaii, there aren't a lot of men who play, but we decided to convert and go a little bit co-ed to get more men to come out because before the men were primarily the referees. So we're trying to get them more involved to possibly create a men's team for Hawaii.
Awesome. So wait, you're talking about co-ed?
Yes.
So both men and women?
Yes.
So that way you get to put the hurting on the men.
Yes.
And actually, Kryptonite's husband skates in the co-ed league, and
Is he pretty good?
He is. I mean, he was representing the other game. I saw him. He scored. He was jamming pretty well.
So explain to me the hierarchy of the islands and then nationally. So how do they work that all out with the league?
So we have an organization, and it's called the Women's Flat Track Derby Association, and they are the association that governs roller derby nationally and internationally. And each league is responsible for obtaining certification to become part of WFDDA. And you have to first become an apprentice before you can be full-blown WFDDA, Women's Flat Track Derby Association qualified. And once you are part of the WFDDA, you can start having a national ranking. And the importance of having a national ranking is once you are ranked a certain level, you get to go to division tournaments. And then the winners or champions of those 4 division tournaments make it to nationals. And we are actually in that season. So nationals is our next tournament coming up, and it should be happening within the next couple of weeks.
So when does the season start?
Roller derby, while we say we have an off season, which is generally December, January timeframe, it goes all year. I mean, you are pretty much bound to have a game once a month, pretty much, wherever you go, each league, I'm sure. Just for marketing purposes and spreading awareness of derby, they generally tend to have a game every month.
So you mentioned a couple of things. So first of all, on this island, there's a couple of leagues, or a couple of, how many teams are here on Oahu?
On Oahu, we have 2 leagues.
Okay, so on the Big Island?
On the Big Island, they have 3 leagues.
Okay, so Maui?
Maui has 1.
And then is there Kauai?
Kauai has 1 as well.
Okay, so all these are all part of the Women's Association of Flat Track Roller Derby?
No. Actually, we currently only have 2 WFDDA organizations within the state, and that's in Hilo, based out of Hilo, and they are the Paradise Roller Girls. And then here on this island, Pacific Roller Derby is WFDDA.
Okay, so how come they all play each other for the playoff? Do they play each other?
Right.
Inter-island?
Yes. We do have a tournament within the islands, and it's for bragging rights only.
Oh, I see.
So each island, and Big Island presents 3 teams, but otherwise the other islands present a team. And we all go to the Battle of the Islands tournament, which happens once a year, and it's on a rotational basis, so it'll happen on a different island each year. Each island hosts as it's their turn, and then they just play for bragging rights, like which island is the best that year.
Is there a trophy?
There is.
Money?
There's a trophy.
That you get to shoot them down with a water hose or hit them with a cream pie or something like that, right? Okay, so another thing you mentioned was tryouts. Talk to me about tryouts.
It's not necessarily tryouts. We call them a try-on.
Okay.
Because with Aloha City Rollers, we don't want to limit to when we intake new skaters. We have every month, the first Saturday of the month, we have a try-on session. We put all of the loaner gear and invite people to come out from 4 to 6 and put the gear on, even if you've never skated before.
Wow.
You gear up and we show you the basics to stop, fall, and all that stuff, and let you roll around to see if you feel comfortable with it. And eventually, you know, you'll stick with it because it's great.
Is there an age requirement?
With Aloha City Rollers, to start in the actual league, it's 18 and older.
Okay.
We also have a junior roller derby league, and that's from ages 6 to 17 for our junior roller derby.
Get them hooked on the hitting and the
Yes,
being
start them young. Yes.
Then there's a boot camp that you go through to
Right.
make sure that you're able to pass the minimum skills test, and once you pass that test, you're able to officially be in the bouts and skating
Jeez.
against the other skaters.
So you got to go out there a little bit, actually practice, be safe,
Yes.
and know what's
Safety is
going on.
important.
I'm sure you guys talked to them about the rules. And does everybody have to gear themselves? They get their own gear?
Yes.
And what does that normally run?
I think like for like a new girls package, it's somewhere right around $120 for
Oh, that's not bad.
to
That's
get
with
started.
skates?
Yeah, with the skates. That's what I paid. It might cost
It
may have
was-
gone up since.
Yeah, I would say the brand new from scratch starter package would be about $350
Oh,
starting
Wow.
cost.
what kind of skates?
Just
Those are the
even
nice-
for the R3s, the basic
Mhm.
skates, to a fresh start package with good gear that won't fall apart in your first month, about $350. Like, this is my original gear that I've had for the past 3 years.
So 3
So-
years. I'm just going to ask each of you separately. Have you had an injury,
I have not.
Adrian?
I've not had a major injury. I've had some foot challenges, but nothing major. No broken bones or concussions or anything like that.
And you guys, any injuries?
I twisted my ankle minorly, but other than that, no.
You don't have any ankle support.
You can, though.
Well, you can?
Depends on the
Absolutely.
skates.
Injuries?
The only things that we get here, I think, really commonly are I don't know if they can hear me, the rink rash is what they call it, because we always skate outside here.
Mm.
We don't have an indoor skating rink like a lot of mainland leagues do. And because we skate outside, we slide on
Ooh.
our legs.
So this
And-
part?
Right.
Ouch.
And so we get a lot of those. And then broken toes, losing toenails, things like that.
Broken toes hurt a lot. And it only hurts when you walk. Unfortunately, you got to walk a lot.
Right.
So we had talked off camera, and you had mentioned that all 4 of you have something in common. This is just by chance, but today, talking on the show, and you all were individually asked to come on and talk about roller derby and promote it. What do you guys have in common?
Okay, well, we're all actually in the military, Army, correct?
Or
Well,
former?
Or have been in
Yeah.
the military. So I'm active duty. You're reserve.
I was in the Army and
Yep.
I got out. That's how I got to Hawaii.
Yep.
And crypto is also active duty.
Wow. So that's quite amazing, and it's quite a compliment to the armed forces, because you guys look kind of fit. If I would say normal to fit, I would say fit, all of you. And if I was on a track on roller skates, I'd be afraid as a man.
He should be.
Yes, because you guys look like you can hit. And contact is part of the sport, right?
Yes.
It's just natural. It's going to happen.
You can't play derby without having contact.
Okay, so should you say to get into this, you probably want to like contact? Can't avoid it, right?
You can't avoid it, but you can train for it and become comfortable with it. And I know, like, when I was first starting, I was scared to get hit, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to get this over with and just take as many hits as I possibly can, and then it's not scary. Especially if you know how to fall properly, it actually becomes fun.
How did you join the league? Who brought you in?
There was some ladies that were skating around my neighborhood, and I had actually just had a baby. I had a brand new, like, I think he was maybe a month old. And I was like, wow, that looks like a good way to lose my baby weight. I'm going to go check this out. So I went and I did some off-skates training, and I said, this is fun. Like, this is a fun way to be fit and, learn something new. So instantly I just loved the sport and the camaraderie and just skating. So I had my little baby was with me at the boot camp.
Your other baby. You had 3.
I have 3,
Yeah.
but the youngest was there all through boot camp.
Crypto, how'd you get in?
By talking to strangers.
Interesting.
Yes. I'm a very people person. If you look interesting, I'll stop you. There was a previous skater. She's no longer here on the island, nor does she skate, but she had some amazing hair. It looks like a lion's mane, just beautiful, big, luxurious curls. So I stopped her to compliment her on her hair. And I'm a bit of a character, so I was wearing this extremely outrageous dress. And she's like, oh, that's cute. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm like, what's that shirt you got on? That's nice. She's like, oh, roller derby. I'm like, what? I want to play. Do you need people? Can I come? So she said yes. I found the place they were practicing at the time out in Kapolei, Barbers Point area. Went out there and just hooked from day one. One of the girls, she took off all of her gear, gave it to me so that I can try it out. And the next week, I went and bought all of my own stuff. Then I had to leave for work. Came back, signed up, and played my first game March of 2013.
Wow. Kara, how'd you get started?
I got started because I always wanted to. I worked at Sonic for my first job.
Oh, wow.
So I was always on roller skates, but I wanted to go to the next level, I guess. And so in May, when I decided I was going to do it, I actually emailed her, and she got me to come out, and so I came out, and then I haven't. Well, I left, but I'm back.
So at Sonic, when they don't tip you real good, do you like
exactly.
give a little
Yeah. Now I've got some
walk by and
tools
just
in my toolbox.
pull the tray off the window or something? And Danielle, how'd you get started?
When I was still active duty, one of my coworkers was doing it, and she told me that I should come check it out. And I believe it was right after Whip It, the movie, had come out. And so I thought it was fake. I thought roller derby was only in the movies, and it wasn't real. And so I just didn't believe her. And I was kind of dumbfounded that it really exists. So to pretty much prove that she wasn't telling me a lie, I came and watched a practice one time, and I was hooked. I was in love, and I've been doing it ever since.
Do you encourage your children, to do it? Or if you had children, would you say, hey, you guys need to learn this because this is so much fun?
My daughter is not quite old enough yet, but once she is, absolutely, yes.
Oh, I mean, because if you recommend it for your own children, obviously
Absolutely.
it's safe and something that you want to do.
Both of my kids have skates, and they've been known to come out to practices and skate around, not necessarily do like the contact, but it's like they want to copy what mom's doing.
Well, mom is exceptional and not normal in the physical sense of human beings, so.
And neither are my children.
Yes, they're amazing. Yes, quite amazing. Okay, so we talked about injuries. What are some of the rules? Just give me a real quick highlight of how do you score in this sport?
Pretty much skate fast, go through the opposing players, pass their hips. That's a point.
Pass
That's
their
it.
hips. So
It's
every time,
one of the girls, the way that she describes it is football and NASCAR. NASCAR, constantly going around left. That is what you're doing in roller derby. You're going left. Football, you have your line of, I don't know what they're called.
scrimmage.
Your line of scrimmage, yes. And that is what you have for roller derby. They're considered our blockers. You have 4 blockers on the line, 1 jammer. Your jammer is considered the quarterback. That's your money maker. So your
That's the
line
one
of
that's scoring the
scrimmage,
points.
the jammer, yes,
Right. Okay.
scores the points, and they wear stars on their helmets. And their pivot is kind of like the main lineman right there, telling the other lineman where to go, where to move, when to block, and do everything to get their jammer out and around while holding the opposing jammer to prevent them from scoring points.
Can you tackle a jammer, your opposing jammer?
You cannot tackle, but you can hip check, shoulder check, booty block, whatever is necessary to either get them out of bounds on the ground legally without using your elbows, forearms, knees, feet, fist.
But that's the best part of watching it. Oh, Adrian, give me another rule.
Well, I mean, there's lots of rules,
Right,
and I tend to break them often because I just, like, I get focused and I want to score the points.
Right.
If you high block somebody or low block somebody, I mean, I know that there is a skater who's very tall, and she's always getting called on those penalties. And it's like almost impossible sometimes to avoid
High block is what? Above the
like if
waist,
you're,
or?
Yeah.
Because you can't. Right.
Yeah, so if you're very tall and you're going against someone who's very small, it's like sometimes it's very difficult to avoid that kind of blocking.
Well, the normal block would be a shoulder block, right? Obviously.
Yeah, like a shoulder or a hip. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. And Carol?
Well, I think the rule I like to break the most is...
That's a good way to put it. Which rule do you like to break the most?
It's probably cutting the track. So if somebody
Ooh.
goes to hit you out and you try to like stay in, but you're already out, and so you end up coming back in, that's cutting the track. You have to, go out and go back around whoever it was that hit you out. You can't go back in front of them.
When I used to watch it as a kid, they'd go right across the middle and go after somebody.
Yeah, that's not the case.
That's not legal. Danielle, what's another rule?
So many rules. There are so many rules.
Most of
in
them for
roller
safety,
derby.
though.
Right, exactly. And that's what they are all for. Some of the rules that are lesser known are not being rude or disrespectful to the refs. So if you are, like if you swear at them, if you tell them that their call was bad on your way to the penalty box, things like that.
That never happens, right?
Right. You can get ejected from the game, or they can either choose to eject you, or they can send you to the penalty box longer.
What if that's your husband or something, like your boyfriend or somebody?
And that sometimes happens, actually, because Crypto's husband sometimes refs, and other people, their significant other ref, and I'm not with them behind closed doors after the game is over, but I can only imagine that the conversation doesn't end on the track.
There's no bias. I've tried. I'm like, honey, don't you call no penalties on me. She's like, straight, like to the box. It's a fair game. He's not going to give me any favoritism because, I'm his wife or anything like that. So for other skaters, I don't know. I know in my house, he does not care. So I get the same treatment as any other skater he's out there doing, and that's the way a referee should be.
Right.
Anytime there's competition, there's going to be conflict. So how far does the conflict go in this kind of competition? Fights? Verbal?
I think most
physical?
of the time it's verbal altercation. There's only been a few times where it would get out of hand. But most of the time, everyone knows it's a game. We're not getting paid to do it. So it stays on the track. There is no take it home or meet me in the parking lot after this game.
None? Really?
I sure hope not.
Because if Kara told me to meet her out in the parking lot after, I'd be like, I'm scared.
Well, we are sitting next to Bella DeBraw.
Yeah.
Is that, you got your name from fighting? No?
No, I was just joking.
No. But to be honest, there have been some altercations, and I think in today's roller derby world, it's not staged like it was before. The contact is real, and when people play, I think that they do focus on sportsmanship, but when that is absent, then I think that they realize they have to at least put on a good face and still maintain their professional.
Well, you're going to walk off the track at one point. So.
Well, they have to maintain their professionalism, and because they won't be able to play if they don't. And there's usually a zero tolerance for misconduct. And usually what ends up happening is there aren't any physical fights off the track, but people might use social media as an outlet for venting.
Forgot about that for a second.
Like people might get unfriended, or they might talk about it in a kind of vague general way on Facebook to kind of vent their frustrations.
Well, it's competition. You know, anytime you have competition, you're going to have disagreement. That's just inevitable. So when you guys... you guys are all on the same team. You're in different teams?
For the most part, we're all on the same team. Baller and I primarily skate for Aloha City Rollers.
Right.
And Bella and I were actually a part of Team Hawaii.
Okay.
Which is the team of elite skaters from all of the different islands who are going to Daytona Beach this December to represent the state in State Wars.
Has the Hawaii team ever won the national championship or been in the national finals?
No.
So it's kind of a big deal. I mean, because you're playing against a population that's, I don't know, 10 times the draw for the women to come out, right? It'd be like Japan playing the Hawaii in the World Series when baseball, because Japan takes from the whole country, and Hawaii only takes from one district, and then they end up playing each other. So when we go in Hawaii, we got 2 million people. If you play Florida, Florida has about 25 million people. So there's a lot more people to choose from, a lot more people that want to play, a bigger audience, more.
I think they have more support and better facilities as
right,
well.
more money.
Yeah.
With more people participating comes more money.
Yes. Right.
So is this a money thing? Can you do better with more money involved?
Of course. Of course.
Better facility?
Talk about sponsorship.
Yes,
Talk about
sponsorship.
sponsorship.
Sponsors. We need sponsors, not just here in Oahu.
You can talk right to the camera.
Any sponsors for roller derby throughout the whole entire state, Oahu, Kauai, Maui, the Big Island. Roller derby is a dying sport, so without sponsorship, there isn't anything for these ladies to do. And we're expanding it for men, women, and children, so sponsor us. Roller derby needs help. We need an indoor facility. We need nice concrete tracks or a wood floor, sports court, anything. Just give us your money.
So it's not a tax-deductible donation because you guys are not a nonprofit, right?
At this
Aloha
time,
City Rollers is a nonprofit
You
organization.
do? 501c
Yes.
corporation, nonprofit? Okay.
See, you
there
could
go.
also write it off for marketing expenses.
Of course. You put
So-
your real estate company on.
Exactly.
Oh, you would never think about doing that.
if they donate directly to Team Hawaii, we are just a pickup team, so we're not part of an organization, so we actually do not have 501c3 status. So
Okay.
if they do choose to donate directly to Team Hawaii to send us to the tournament in Florida in December, then it won't be a tax deduction, unfortunately.
You can't get the Army to sponsor that?
But they can still donate just to send the state team, because we are going, similarly to Battle of the Islands, we are going for state bragging rights. This is not the national tournament that we were talking about earlier. This is actually called the State Wars Roller Derby Tournament, and it happened in Florida for the very first time last year, and this will be the second annual time that State Wars is happening.
Okay, so you're sending a team. You're not sending the winning team to Florida.
Right, we're sending a team.
So
and
you're
then there's a
picking
tournament.
who's going to go, probably who can afford it, who's a good player,
Exactly.
who wants to be part of the travel team,
Right.
who has time
20
off.
women
Wow.
from the entire state.
So how many people are on the track playing at one time?
6 per team,
5.
5 per team.
Wow, so you're sending 4 sets, 4 actual teams, 20 people. I mean, you can field 4 teams for that.
Games are an hour long, so you got the maximum allowed for a roster is 14. Everyone else is just additional in case of injuries or anything like that. But the max allowed on the roster is 14 girls.
So something that's kind of off the questions that we had right now, when Samara rolled in here, there was quite the aroma from being, so most men have been in a locker room, but you girls, I mean, that's some serious
Yes.
dedication right there. I mean, that gear is protecting you, I can tell.
The derby aroma. You'll learn to love it.
So when you guys are rolling around and the heat because you don't have a covered track or anything like that. Does the pavement heat up? Does the play, is it different? Because you're falling on pavement that's like 90 degrees. So.
The only thing outside from being hot, outside without having a covered venue, is we tape rope around the track so that we know the boundaries.
I see.
If it's too hot, the tape comes up and we have to stop gameplay often to either fix it or take it up altogether and chalk it out.
Wow.
Or if it rains, then it's like you gotta stop.
Do you guys play in the rain?
No, it's
No,
not
it's too
safe.
slippery, right?
It's not safe.
It's not safe and it's bad for your bearings.
Wow. So is your right leg bigger than your left leg because you're going around in a circle?
We try during practice and everything, we try to switch it up and do reverse direction and give both sides of your body equal love.
Because you know NASCAR, they got the bigger tire on the outside, the smaller tire on the inside.
We don't do it.
Skate's not built that way? So if you just let them roll, will they roll in a circle? No?
You gotta rotate the wheels.
Yes, and rotating your wheels to avoid flat spots and all that.
Yeah, because that would happen, right? Rolling in the same direction the whole time. You put all your weight on your outer leg most of the time.
Yes.
So what does the future of Hawaii roller derby look like?
Honestly, Duke, there would be no future for Hawaii roller derby if we don't get community support or more people. I know for a fact roller derby on Kauai was almost done this season because they didn't have the support of the community. They had a very small roster, and a lot of their players were retiring.
Wow.
So it's not a forever thing, but we need community support.
Well, if you can help out, where do they send their inquiries to? Who would?
808derby.com.
808derby.com. There you go. So support the roller derby, and I just want to take this time to thank all the ladies at roller derby for taking their time out today and giving up their lunch hour to come and talk about and promote roller derby. With that, we're going to say good night and thank you for joining us on another episode of Ask the Experts. Take care. Look for us on the track.